my name is Daisy Burroughs, and today I will be reading Not Again, Mr. Cat, written by Dr. Kimberly P. Johnson and illustrated by Landa Smith. Miss May was sitting in her favorite chair, knitting a blue and white hat, when suddenly she heard a horrible sound. My goodness, oh dear, what was that? She flew from her chair as quick as a bat to see what she could see, and on her porch sat a black and white cat, as cute as he could be. The cat looked up and licked his paw. He was covered in flowers and dirt. My goodness, oh dear, what a horrible mess. I hope that he isn't hurt. She opened the door and invited him in. He thanked her with a purr. She gave him some food, gave him some water, and helped him clean his fur. Then Miss May shook her finger and said with a smile, "Not again, Mr. Cat," as she swept up the pile. Miss May went back to her favorite spot to finish her knitting chore, when out of nowhere came a very loud bang. This time, it was near the back door. She threw down her knitting and ran with a dash, only to find out that the noise was the trash. Mr. Cat had decided to climb up on top and take a peek inside. He knocked over the trash, made a big mess, and then tried to hide. Miss May shook her finger and said with a smile, "Not again, Mr. Cat," and swept up the pile. She returned to her knitting as tired as can be, and Mr. Cat pranced off to find a tall tree. After a while of peace and quiet, there was a sudden knock on the door. My goodness, oh dear, this is a bit much. I don't think I can take any more. She opened the door and a policeman stood there with Mr. Cat held tight in his arms. "I'm sorry to bother you so late in the day, and I don't want to cause an alarm. This cat was found in a very high tree, just a block or two down the street, and your neighbor thought that he might be yours since you gave him a treat to eat." My goodness, oh dear, I'm glad he's okay, but I am not the owner, I'm sorry to say. I see that he's scared and a little bit cold. Warm milk does the trick, or so I'm told. Miss May took some milk and put it down by the floor. She thanked the policeman and showed him back to the door. The cat sat quietly by the bowl on the mat and brushed his paw with ease. His eyes were warm, his face was sweet, and he purred as if to say please. Miss May looked down with her hands on her hips and shook her head just so. "Not again, Mr. Cat. The time has come. Now you really, really must go." She opened the door and patted him out as gently as could be. "You'll find a good home, I'm sure of that. Just you wait and see." She closed the door and went back to her chair to finish the job at hand, when out of nowhere came a very loud sound like the world's most horrible band. Miss May looked out and saw Mr. Cat tangled up in chimes and strings. "Not again, Mr. Cat. You really can't stay. You get into too many things." After she opened the door and took a step outside, Mr. Cat brushed against her leg. "Not again, Mr. Cat. No, you can't stay. It does not matter how much you beg." So once again, she left him outside and closed the door behind. "Okay," she exclaimed, "now I can work and finally get peace of mind." But after a while, she missed Mr. Cat and all the games he'd play. She thought to herself, "He wasn't so bad. I should have let him stay." Outside her window, she saw no cat. No noise could even be heard. Miss May missed the cat, his sweet little face, and especially the way he purred. So off she went to find her friend and bring him to his new home. She did not want him to wander around, and she did not want him to roam. Down by the flowers, Miss May saw a bag that used to be full of seeds. And sure enough, there sat Mr. Cat, hiding quietly in the weeds. She picked him up and brushed him off and gave him a gentle pat. "I'm glad you're back. I'll keep you this time. My brand new friend, Mr. Cat." The end. Thank you for listening. And that's how Deltas read.